My name is Kevin, and I am the inventor of the Snow Rover, the remote-controlled hybrid snowblower. In part 1 of this video series, you will see how to install the motors and the track drive. The track drive is installed in 11 steps. Please jump to any of the steps from the links in the description of the video. Let's take a look at the machine before we start. If you have a machine similar to this one, where the two wheels rotate independently, you can install the parts that you see here and convert your machine. So as you can see, this has the standard wheels on it and all of the other controls, including the chute mechanism. In part 1 of this of the conversion videos, we are going to show you how to install the main bracket, which is going to be mounted right here. So it's going to be attached on the right side to the machine body, and also on the left side So here's the main body bracket which we will be mounting on the machine, and these are the tools that you're going to need. And you're going to be using 3/8 inch bolts which will be supplied, as well as a 3/8 inch socket, a 9/16 inch socket, wrench, to install the main bracket. The machine will need to be placed in the maintenance position, and we will take a look at that soon. And to prepare for that, we're first going to be removing this cover. So we are using a 3/8 inch socket wrench, and you can use a 3/8 inch socket wrench if that's easier. Loosen this bolt. You may have 2 bolts on your machine. Some machines come with 2 bolts, some machines come with 1 bolt, so you'll have to remove those bolts, loosen them, and remove the cover. Now that the cover has been removed, we're going to be removing the 2 bolts and take out this bar which is used for rotating the chute. I'm going to be using a 3/8 inch socket or 3/8 inch wrench. As you can see, the 2 bolts have been taken out, And now we're going to be lifting this up here and rotate it slightly. And take it off. You may put these bolts back here on the bracket so you don't lose them. The machine needs to be placed in the maintenance position. And for that, we're going to be using either a scrap piece of 2x4 or a 2x6 and place it right in front of the auger, just like this. So the reason you want these pieces of wood is to protect your floor when you tip the machine over. Yeah, the machine is now in the maintenance position and it needs to be quite stable enough so you can work on it. The next step is to remove the wheels. So we're going to remove the clip that holds the wheel. Just like this, slide it off. Place it in it, save that clip and remove the wheel. Now you will notice there is a key that's on this shaft and we are going to be needing this when we install the track drive. So you can repeat the process for the second wheel on the other side. The keys are right here. The two keys. And the wheels have been taken apart, as you can see. We did put the clip back on here so we don't lose the clips. So now we are ready for the next step. In the next step, we are going to be loosening these two bolts on each side and on the other side. We will use a 9/16" socket wrench and okay. Now we're going to put this on the handle. This is called a turnbuckle, and when you turn it away from you, it's going to hold the handles. Make sure it's straight. This will be provided as part of the conversion kit, so just hand tighten it, that's it, away from you. It will keep the handlebars apart. Now we're going to have a second person hold the handle. And one short bolt on the left side. Hold the bracket and remove the bolts on the right side and lift the handle up into position. Move the handle up. Okay, once the handle goes in there, lower the handle into position. Make sure the holes are aligned. On the left side, the handle is resting on the bolt, on the shorter bolt. And on the right side, it's ready to be tightened, but do not tighten all the way. Lift the handle slightly, hold the bracket, with your left hand, and remove the bolt. Now align the holes. And insert the bolt. Tighten it slightly. Now put the second longer bolt. At this point, we are ready to loosen the turnbuckle. Since the handles are apart, we need to move them closer again. So turn the and remove the and we are ready to tighten all of the 4 bolts. First tighten on the right side, and then tighten the bolts on the left side. The next step in the assembly process is installing the motor bracket, and as you can see, the motor is having a key already installed on it, and the bracket is going to be mounted using the 3 bolts, 3/8" bolts, and lock nuts and washers. Let's see how this is done. Slide the motor bracket this way. Put a washer and a lock nut. 5/16" wrench and 5/16" socket. Insert the shorter sleeve. There's two sleeves, one of them is shorter, the other one is longer. Insert the shorter sleeve just like this. Insert a washer. And then insert the bolt. Tap it in just like this until it goes all the way. You should have the keys that you previously removed when you removed the wheel. and the retaining clip. So now we're going to put the key back onto the shaft. Just like this. To install the track belt for the track drive, notice that this bolt has not been tightened all the way, but we just put a nut here. Also notice that these two bolts are not tightened yet. So that allows the motor to tip over to the right. Next, place the track drive belt on the upper wheel and also on the lower wheel. Notice that the lower wheel is positioned slightly the key is in position and push the wheel in. Tap the wheel with a mallet or with your hand until it goes all the way. You may want to place the wheel that you removed earlier on the other side. So you don't push the shaft all the way out. As you can see, I placed the other wheel in position on the other side, and now this wheel is almost all the way in. Tap the wheel until it goes all the way in. We can now put the retaining clip. Just like that. Make sure it locked in. You will notice that as we tighten the bolts, the motor is going to be straight and the track belt is going to be tensioned. This nut has not been tightened all the way yet, so we can do that now. And tighten. The two bolts that attach the motor bracket to the main bracket have been tightened, fully tightened, as well as the 3/4 inch bolt that holds the motor down here. And you will notice that the track belt is fully tensioned now when we tighten the bolts. After tightening all of the bolts, the track should be nice and tensioned like this, nice and tight. The other thing to notice is these cogs. The cogs are pointed in this direction, the forward direction. You can now turn the right side independently of the left side. This means that the machine drive is ready to go, and you will notice when the machine makes a turn, this track is going to be going in this direction, and the other track is going to be in the forward direction. And that's how it's going to make the turns. They're going to be turning independently of each other. So we're going to do the left side motor, the track and the wheels. So as you can see, this bracket, the motor bracket has already been attached to the motor, and the key is already on the shaft. I'm going to tip the motor over. In this method, we are going to put the wheel on the motor drive shaft first and then mount the motor onto the bracket. So align the wheel with the key on the motor shaft. Gently slide the wheel, make sure it goes on the shaft, and then slide it. Now we may need to tap it down a little bit. We'll take a block of wood, gently tap it all the way. The next step is to install the washer and the bolt. So place the washer, insert the bolt. This is a stainless steel M8 bolt. It's important to tighten this bolt so the wheel doesn't slide off. I am using a 13mm socket. Tighten it really well. Okay. I have the washers and the nuts right here placed on the bracket, so they are easily accessible when I mount the motor onto the bracket. The bolts are right here as well. These are the same bolts that we use to mount the motor brackets. I have the bolt in my hand. Insert the bolt and right on the motor bracket. Hold the motor with the other hand, grab the other bolt. Now we're going to put the other second bolt. We're not done yet. We still want to put the nuts and the washers. Now I have the washer. Now I have the nut. Put the nut on the bolt and rotate it couple of turns. Put the top nut first. Rotate the nut at least 2 turns so that it doesn't come off. As far as you can tighten it. Now you can release the motor. We're going to put the other washer for the lower bolt. This one is a little difficult to access, but you may need to put your finger down here under the bracket and on top as well. Place the washer, and here's the nut. Same thing with the washer nut. You may need to bring your hands in the front and as well as from under the bracket. We're going to install the track belt. First we're going to place it on the motor wheel like this. Just like this. Make sure it's sitting well on this. So the key is up. So place it just like that. Now we have the track on both of the wheels, and we're going to slide this all the way in and then tighten the bolt up here. Here I'm going to be taking a mallet . And now we're going to tighten the motor. So the motor is not been tightened yet, the motor bracket, so it's easier to put the track belt. But the track is on both sides. So we just have to tighten these bolts. When we tighten the two bolts, the motor is going to move and the track will be aligned. We are going to be using a 9/16" socket and a 9/16" wrench. The wrench will be on the inside, socket will be on the outside, and tighten these two bolts on the motor bracket. Before we tighten these two bolts, the motor bracket, we need to insert the 3/4 inch bolt like this. So there's a washer here, and then there's a couple of washers as spacer. It's coming out of the motor here, and there's a rubber seal. On top of that is going to go this split plastic spacer. So I'm going to slide the split plastic spacer push it on just like that. Next we're going to slide the motor right over this sleeve. Tighten the hex nut. When you tighten the hex nut, you'll notice that the motor will slide on the sleeve. You can now tighten the two bolts on the motor bracket. Now everything is tightened and it should look like this. The left side, as you can see, the track is fully tensioned. The right side as well. And the final step is to put the retaining clip back on. Just like this. Slide the retaining clip. You're now ready to put the machine back on the tracks.